Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We want to do our last installment for now of hunting rifle videos, tabletop videos. And what we have today is the second half of lever action 30-30s. You've seen the Model 94, and you've heard me talk about the Model 336 in that video. So now I'm going to show you the 336. But actually, this is not a 336. It's basically the same rifle, but this is a Marlin Model 30 AW. Alright. This is a JM stamped Marlin. This isn't a Remlin or a new model Marlin. And that's it. What you see is what you get. You come with walnut furniture, gold trigger, and you notice this rifle has it has the crossbow safety. Okay, so a lot of you already gonna say, well, that's not a old Marlin because it's got a safety. And let me give you a little history on that. Marlin started adding those safeties. You could get them on your rifles in the early 80s, around 1983. Okay, that's not a new thing. So the ones that say, well, I don't, they use that safety to say, well, that's not a real Marlin. It is. It's absolutely JM stamped. You can see it right there. And I've run the serial numbers on this gun. It's not a super old Marlin. It's just a 91 model, but it's still a JM stamped original Marlin. This was a Walmart package gun. Come with this scope. It didn't come with slings, but it come with sling swivels. And I don't know exactly what they cost at Walmart, but this is one of the original package guns that come with a scope and a sling, setup for a sling. It come with the hammer spur, 7-round tubular magazine. And I think this is a 3x9x40 Bushnell sports view. It's an extremely old, well, it's as old as a rifle. It's 91, almost 30 years old, but it's still crystal clear and functions just like a new one. I see no sense in changing it. Now, this rail is not original. The scope is, but the rail was added later on. I didn't add it, but somebody did, because these guns come with over and under scope mounts, meaning that you could see under the mounts. They were high mounts. That way you could still use your iron sights for up close, and you still had your scope for long range. Someone didn't like that, or either got broken or whatever, they put a regular modern rail on it and didn't put the scope back on the rifle. And that's okay. I would have done the same thing. I don't like over and under mounts. But something else. Some people also look at micro groove barrels and say, well, that's a new rifle. Marlin started that way back. I'd have to look it up to see exactly when, but that's one of their trademarks, micro groove barrels. So don't go by that. It's just a nice rifle. This is not a cheap rifle now, if you can find one. And this rifle I bought the latter part of last year, and it was in brand new condition. It still had the Walmart white sticker on the forearm there that you would see, and I removed it because it too much worried about trying to keep it from getting torn up or wet or something hunting. I actually took a deer last year with this gun, and I'm going to shoot it again this year. Anyone familiar with Marlin firearms know that you can run the serial numbers. There's a calculator on Marlin's site, excuse me, that shows you how to decode that serial number to tell you the age and other information on that gun. This gun, like the Winchester, ejects through the side, so it has a side, and the bottom doesn't fall out. It's hinged. Remember I was telling you about that. The only safety is you see that little bump right there. It won't fire right there. You actually have to squeeze the trigger up for it to fire. And it's got a half cock. You pull it back, that keeps it from resting on a live round. Oh. There really isn't much to say about it. It's a no frills, handy rifle. It's a very small, lightweight, repeating deer rifle. Accuracy is, and I'm gonna be honest with you, this gun is far more accurate than the Winchester is. Mine. But now this is a scoped rifle too. I can hit skull cans all day long at 100 yards. Okay, you ain't gonna get much better than that out of a 30-30. The project, it just doesn't have the trajectory and all that you need to get any better. But if you're lucky enough to have one of these original Marlins, and even before the crossbow safety, that would put you probably in the late 70s and down. They're very, very hard to come by. This is not the deluxe model. The deluxe model would have a pistol grip cap, and it would have those little white spacers on the butt plate and around the pistol grip cap. Good luck finding one. It's in good shape. But this is as close as we could get. I remember these rifles from when I was a kid. My uncle, a couple of my uncles had these guns when I was coming up, and there's no difference in the 336 and the 30 S or SW or AW or whatever. I think it's the front sight's the only difference. This doesn't have a hooded ramp sight. You remember the old Marlins had a hood over the sight. This has got a brass bead and no hood. It never came with one. And it's dovetailed in. It's not screwed down like the 336. And you notice the barrel bands in front of the sight. That's the only difference that I can see. This is the rifle I was actually looking for instead of the 336. But only for looks. The rifles, both of them are pretty much identical from there back, with the exception of the deluxe model that would have the white spacers. These rifles are hard to come by, and I think I've said that, but if you find one, expect to pay, if you find one in this condition, expect to pay upwards of $500 for a used rifle. And I would buy them all day long at that. So the people that have them just aren't turning them loose. I mean, a wood to metal fit is flawless. There's no gap, there's no rise in the wood. It's absolutely, flawless. And that's something you don't get anymore. The action is smooth. It's accurate. The trigger, you hear about bad triggers on these rifles. That's from people that don't know what a bad trigger is. This rifle's probably got maybe a 3.5 pound trigger. That's not a bad trigger. I'll take it all day long. So the original JM stamped Marlin, the 30 AW and 30-30 Winchester, made in New Haven, Connecticut. This is before the Freedom's Firearms group bought up all the struggling manufacturers and then trashed our weapons. Basically, they made junk. They'll still shoot, some of them. I saw a guy today did a video on a 336 AW. I mean, excuse me, a 336W, the new one, and he was comparing two different shells, two different grains and type bullets for accuracy at 100 yards. He fired 3 rounds of each, and he was talking about his accuracy, and he come back to do his final thoughts. Now, the bolt that goes through and holds the barrel band onto his barrel and his tube, and actually it was down on this band, the bolt broke off with 6 rounds and fell out of the gun. Yet he still said that he would recommend that gun. And I had to leave him a comment and ask him, how could he feel good about recommending a gun that one of the main structural bolts has broken out of it after 6 rounds? So you get lemons and everything, but it's kind of hard to find an apple when you're digging in a bushel of lemons. So keep that in mind. Buying the new, I'm not telling you not to buy the new rifles and all that, because you can find the good ones. So his case is probably rare. But I just found it ironic that he would still say, well, I would absolutely recommend this rifle. You're sitting there holding parts of a new rifle in your hand. I don't expect that will ever happen out of this. I've never seen that happen out of any other original made firearm, to where the bolts would fall out of a brand new gun. So take that with a grain of salt. This gun is more accurate with a 170 grain projectile than it is a 150, but accuracy is still good with a 150. But it's a lot to do with that micro grooving barrel. Marlin does that with a lot of their rifles, and maybe probably all of the new ones. But I know all, like the 22 Model 60s have micro grooved. The lever action 22s, the old ones, they had micro grooved. I don't even know if they still make a lever action Marlin 22, but there it is. That is the #1 iconic deer rifle in the world, right there. #2 is the Winchester 94 that I showed you. Run out and get you one. Keep in mind, guys, that we're gonna take a day, and if I have to sacrifice ammo to get out to the range and we're gonna shoot these guns, this is just a tabletop review. I want you to be aware of what you get and what you can get. We hadn't had decent enough weather to get out and shoot a lot, and I really don't want to sacrifice the ammo, but I may do that just so you can be more informed of what you want. Like I tell everybody, check my channel, see if I've got something that you're thinking about buying before you buy it, and see. And that's where I need to get these shooting reviews done, so you can see the accuracy and things like that. So bear with me. But if we've helped you, if you've learned anything, or if you just enjoy watching, if you got any ideas on new videos or anything to make this more exciting instead of just like it is, I know it's boring, some of them are. Leave comments down there and let me know. Give me a thumbs up, hit like and subscribe, share the videos. You may have a brother-in-law from Kentucky or something. A lot of folks are getting into guns that had never been in guns. You may have a brother-in-law or a family member that really hadn't had a lot of experience with firearms. You know, tell them about these videos. Come check them out. So, anyway, God bless you and take care.